USPAP 7-hour national update course 2022 through 2023. Chapter 3, violations of USPAP and using the USPAP publication. Page 11, the USPAP publication. Appraisers may be asked by clients, intended users, or by others to either perform a service, provide an opinion, or limit or expand the scope of work in an appraisal or appraisal review assignment. These requests lead the appraiser to many questions that they will need to answer to be certain they comply with USPAP for that service. These questions may be about ethics, competency, reporting, or even record-keeping requirements. Some more common questions the appraiser may ask themselves when providing a valuation service can include: should I perform this assignment in compliance with USPAP? Have I designed and implemented an adequate scope of work? Does my report convey the assignment results clearly and accurately in a manner that will not be misleading? In this part of the course, we look at ways that appraisers can find answers to such questions using the USPAP publication. End of page. Page 12, a systematic approach. USPAP is written by appraisers, for appraisers, and for users of appraisal services. Appraisers solve problems for their clients. USPAP was developed to make this problem solving systematic and consistent, and as a result, preserve public trust and enhance appraiser professionalism. Additionally, USPAP also guides appraisers toward performing ethically and competently. In summary, USPAP addresses the steps in the appraisal valuation process and rests on a foundation of one set of rules and standards applicable to all the appraisal disciplines: real property, which includes mass appraisal, personal property, and business valuation. End of page. Page 13, compliance. The preamble to USPAP states, USPAP does not establish who or which assignments must comply. Neither the Appraisal Foundation nor its Appraisal Standards Board is a government entity with the power to make, judge, or enforce law. An appraiser must comply with USPAP when either the service or the appraiser is required by law, regulation, or agreement with the client. Individuals may also choose to comply with USPAP anytime that individual is performing the service as an appraiser. Thus, when an individual performing a service as an appraiser seeks to comply with USPAP, both they and the public benefit when the appraiser not only understands the requirements of USPAP, but is also skilled at using USPAP to help answer all the very nuanced questions that occur in their daily practice. This course is designed for the practicing appraiser who already understands the structure and requirements of USPAP and builds on that understanding. End of page. Page 14, USPAP flexibility and responsibility. USPAP is a unique document because it covers all appraisal disciplines and all types of possible scenarios the appraiser may encounter. And it manages to do so in fewer than 60 pages, all while providing both broad flexibility and significant responsibility to the appraiser. USPAP is an intentionally short document because it essentially contains only the required rules for appraisers. For instance, rules for ethical behavior and competent performance. It does not instruct an appraiser how to appraise or provide advice on appraisal methods and techniques. Only the advisory opinions and FAQs provide guidance on how to solve specific problems. It is precisely because USPAP addresses innumerable scenarios that considerably more questions arise than there are requirements in USPAP. As a result of all the questions the ASB has received over the years that can be answered with USPAP, it has written and issued guidance in the form of advisory opinions and FAQs that illustrate the applicability of USPAP in specific situations and offers advice for resolving appraisal issues and problems. This course will teach the practicing appraiser how to use USPAP together with all the other guidance materials in the USPAP publication to quickly find answers to their USPAP related questions. End of page. Quiz. Number 1. A new appraiser trainee is rating USPAP. What can this individual expect to find in USPAP? Ready, set, go. A, advice regarding appraisal best practices. B, required rules for ethical behavior and performance. C, guidance for handling appraisals on problem properties. Or D, all of these. I'm going to go D, all of these. Oh, you answered incorrectly. The correct answer was B, required rules for ethical behavior and performance. USPAP is an intentionally short document because it essentially contains only the required rules for appraisers. For instance, rules for ethical behavior and competent performance. It does not instruct an appraiser how to appraise or provide advice on appraisal methods and techniques. Only the advisory opinions and FAQs provide guidance on how to solve specific problems. Chapter 3, USPAP flexibility and responsibility. Number 2, an appraiser is providing a market value opinion on real property and wants to determine if they are required to perform in compliance with USPAP. When must an appraiser comply with USPAP when completing this assignment? Ready, set, go. A, when specifically required to comply with by the ASB. B, when the individual providing the service is licensed or certified by a state or territory of the United States. C, when required by law, regulation, or agreement with the client. Or D, when the service is being performed by an individual acting as an appraiser. I'm going to go D. You answered incorrectly. The correct answer was C. When required by law, regulation, or agreement with the client. USPAP does not establish who or which assignments must comply. Neither the Appraisal Foundation nor its Appraisal Standards Board is a government entity. with the power to make, judge, or enforce law. An appraiser must comply with USPAP when either the service or the appraiser is required by law, regulation, or agreement with the client. Chapter 3, Compliance. Page 15, the USPAP publication content. If we distilled the requirements and structure of USPAP into a short description, it would be that, number one, it places all the actions required of an appraiser in a defined box. Ethics rule, competency rule, jurisdictional exemption rule, and number two, it follows the exact steps of the appraisal or appraisal review process. Scope of work rule, record keeping rule, standards. And number three, it places everything in context, preamble, definitions. However, this course covers more than just USPAP. It covers the USPAP publication. In this 7-hour update course, the expression USPAP publication refers to the core USPAP document, preamble, definitions, rules, standards, the guidance materials, advisory opinions, and FAQs, and the navigation aids. Forward, tables of contents, and index. The USPAP document itself has never been very lengthy. For example, in the 2020 through 2022 edition, it is only 58 pages. End of page.